Hello, how you doing? It's Mr. Do the Math here, and today we're going to talk about writing the equation for parallel and perpendicular lines, right? First things first, what we need to remember is that parallel lines have the exact same slope as the initial line. So they have the exact same slope because parallel lines, they don't run into each other, right? They don't run into each other because they move at the same rate of change, the same slope, okay? And so what we want to do first is we want to talk about the steps that it's going to take to write the equation for parallel perpendicular lines. Step number one is you want to identify the slope of the first line. We're going to give you the slope of a line, and then we're going to give you a point, and we're going to say, write the equation for a line that is parallel or perpendicular to this given line, right, going through this point. So after we identify the slope of the first line, we're going to write down the parallel or the perpendicular slope and the given point that it's going through, right? And then from there, we're going to substitute it into point slope form. And then from slope form, we're going to put it in slope intercept form, okay? So let's just get into it. All right, so we're going to write the equation for the line that's parallel to this particular line, right? And it's going through this point. So the first things first is finding the slope of this line. This is not in a completed equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve for y, right? So it can be in slope intercept. So in order to do that, the first thing I need to do is divide everything by 2, right? So then we'll end up with y equals 3 over 2x plus 5, right? The only thing I need from this equation, though, is the slope. The slope for this line is 3 over 2, okay? Now, parallel. Let's do this. We're going to write the parallel slope. The parallel slope is going to be 3 over 2 because the slopes are the same, okay? Now, next thing says to write the parallel slope and the point. So we got the slope, 3 over 2, going through point 2, -5, right? So we got our slope and our point. Then we're going to substitute it in a point slope. So remember, x1 is the first one, y1 is the second number, okay? We're going to substitute it into this equation. Y minus y1, which is -5, equals the slope times x minus x1, which is 2. Okay? And then we did step 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to simplify this to write a slope intercept form. All right, so we're going to rewrite this. Minus negative means it's plus 5. And then we got 3 over 2x minus 2. Then from here, we're going to distribute 5. So it's going to be y plus 5 equals 3 over 2x. And then 3 over 2 times -2 is going to give us -3. How did you get -3? I'm glad you asked. So basically what we did was we multiplied 3 over 2 times -2 over 1. When you multiply the numerators and the denominator, so you'll have -6 over 2, right? -6 over 2 simplifies to be -3, okay? Now, last step, solve for y. So we got to get this y by itself. So we're going to subtract 5 to both sides. Same sign, add and keep. So our equation will be y equals 3 over 2x minus 8, okay? Let's look at another example here. All right, so if I have the point going through 5, -1, I believe, and the equation for the line, the first line is x minus 7, right? Let us go through our steps. Step 1, find the slope of the first line. And here it's in point slope form. So our slope is here, right? So the slope here is going to be 1. The parallel slope is also going to be 1, right? Parallel slope is also 1. So now we're going to write down our slope equals 1 over 1 and our point 5, -1. This is x1, this is y1, okay? Then we're going to substitute it into the equation. So it'll be y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. Okay? Simplify, so it'll be y plus 1 equals 1 times x minus 5. Now we're gonna write it in slope-intercept form. So this is point slope form, slope-intercept form, distribute, bop, bop. So it'll be y plus 1 equals x, 1x, right, minus 5. Subtract 1 to both sides. Again, same sign, add and keep. So our equation for the line is going to be y equals x minus 6. Okay? Now, let's take it a step further. Let's go to perpendicular lines. Remember, I discussed with you guys before, you should have learned before, that perpendicular lines have the opposite reciprocal slope. Right? Perpendicular lines have the opposite reciprocal slope. Opposite meaning if it was negative, it would be positive, and reciprocal meaning if it was 2 over 3, it would be 3 over 2. Right? So look, perpendicular means opposite reciprocal. Opposite. So if it was positive, it becomes negative, right? Reciprocal means it flipped, right? So if it was A over B, it would be B over A. Therefore, for instance, if I had the slope being 3 over 2, perpendicular slope would be opposite. This is plus, this is positive, be negative. Reciprocal means it flips, right? So it went like that. So it'll be 2 over 3. Okay? And then to write for the equation of the line, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll find a slope, write the perpendicular slope, then write the perpendicular slope in the given point, and then we're going to put it into the equations, the 2 equations for the lines. All right, let's look at this example. Write the equation for the line going through this point and perpendicular to this line. All right, so it's going through -8, 3, and it's perpendicular to this line here. All right, first things first, find the slope. Slope's always connected to the x, right? So the original slope is -4 over 3. The perpendicular slope is going to be opposite, so it's going to be positive, reciprocal. So the 3 comes up to the top, so it'll be positive 3 over 4. That is the perpendicular slope, okay? So we got our perpendicular slope, and then we got our point, which is going to be -8, 3. Okay? So this is x1, this is y1. Now we're at step 3. Substitute it into point slope form. So it'll be y minus y1 equals the slope, 3 over 4, times x minus x1, which is -8. Okay? Here we go. So we got y minus 3 equals 3 over 4 times x plus 8. Okay? That is point slope form. The next thing we want to do is we want to simplify it in the slope-intercept form. Distribute, bow, bow. So it'll be y minus 3 equals 3 over 4x, right, plus 6. How did you get 6? Glad you asked. That's essentially all of it. This is what we did. We did 3 over 4 times 8 over 1. Okay? 3 times 8, 24. 4 times 1, 4. 24 divided by 4 gives us our 6. Okay? Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to simplify it into this situation here. See, it's doing it again. All right, simplify. All right, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. So y will equal 3 over 4x plus 9. All right. Hopefully X right. 3 over 4x plus 9. All right, so this is the equation for the line that's perpendicular to this line here. All right. Notice that the slope is the opposite reciprocal. Okay. Let's look at our last example. So we're going to write the equation for the line that is perpendicular to this equation, so this is number 4, this equation, 6x minus 2y equals 10, and it's going through point 12.5, okay? First things first, find the slope. This is in standard form, so we gotta write it in slope-intercept form. So then we're gonna subtract 6x from both sides first, right? So we get negative 2y equals negative 6x plus 10, and then we're gonna divide everything by negative 2. When we divide by negative 2, we'll rewrite the equation to be y equals, let's do it, let's take steps. 6 over 2, negative over negative makes it positive, minus 5, right? 6 over 2 can be simplified to be 3. So the original equation is going to be 3x minus 5, right? The slope for the first line is going to be m equals 3. It's connected to the x, okay? Perpendicular slope is going to be the opposite. It's positive here, it's going to be negative. Reciprocal, so it's 3 over 1. You flip it, it's going to be 1 over 3, okay? So we have so we're going to write our slope, right? So we got negative 1 over 3 is the slope, and our point is 12.5, okay? All right, now let's put it in the equation for the line. We're going to put it over here. So it'll be y minus y1, which is 5, equals m, 1 over 3, times x minus x1, which is 12, okay? I'm sorry, negative 1 over 3. That's important. You gotta make sure you got that. All right. So this is point slope form. We're gonna simplify it, right? So let's do the math to simplify. Distribute, bow, bow. So it'll be y minus 5 equals negative 1/3 x plus 12, not 12. I'm sorry, plus 4, right? How'd you get 4? Well, basically what we did was we did 1/3 times negative 12 over 1. So that's going to give you positive 12 over 3, which simplifies to be 4. That's how we got that 4. Okay? Now, let's solve for y. Move this 5 over. Add 5 to both sides. Therefore, our equation would be y equals negative 1/3 x plus 9. Alright? So, that is that, my people. Alright? So, again, the first thing you want to do is you want to find the slope of the first line. Then you want to write the parallel perpendicular slope down and the given point. Substitute that in the point slope form, and then finally simplify it into slope intercept form. Okay, so that is how you write parallel and perpendicular line equations, right? If you have any more questions, comment below. If you have not already, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's do the math out.